What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Tree Monsters, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the second half of the Guardians of the Galaxy figures along with the Build-A-Figure Groot. These are my... It's hard to say. Like, there's plenty of problems with these two, but I prefer these over the other three. Maybe just because they're more visually interesting. And now I'm not saying that I prefer their aesthetics to the comic books. If you looked at the other review, you already know that I prefer the comic book aesthetic. Maybe with the exception of Rocket, because I kind of dig Rocket's look. But I just think that the toys turned out a little bit more visually interesting. Since we're doing 4 of them, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. We'll go one by one. So here's Rocket, and he's most people's favorite, so I figured we'd do him first. And he's really got a ton of issues. I like the head sculpt. I think it looks accurate. You know, I like the paint on it. There's some washing in here in the fur, which kind of gives you some depth. I think the metal has wash on it. I don't think there's anything else. And there's some mistakes. Like I got bronze paint there and orange where it shouldn't be. And my paint's wearing off here. You know, and I think that's just from packaging. You know, it'll probably just come off as I chip it. The tail is a tripod piece. Like, it's for utility. It's to keep him balanced, because otherwise those little feet of his will never keep him standing. Articulation, he really sucks. The head is on probably a ball joint, but you get nothing out of it. Like, you can get a swivel. It might just be a swivel, actually. So you get no up and down. You get no depth there. It's just, like, if you look sideways too much, the molding starts looking weird, and it looks very unnatural, and it doesn't have a very, you know, proper look at all. We got ball hinged shoulders, ball hinged elbows, and a wrist swivel. Same on the other side. We got a ball joint for a diaphragm, but you don't get much out of it, as you can see. And then 0 for the legs. Just this chunk here is one piece of plastic, and then the tail gets you 360 around, which is pretty worthless, because in order to have him standing, you got to have it down. He comes with this gun, which I, for the life of me, cannot get him to hold. I'm going to give it another shot live on camera. So the hand has got to go there on the handle, and then this has got to go around. So let's see what we can do. Alright. Yeah, this is pretty close. Nope. This is really obnoxious. And it probably would have been more doable if it had a hinge in the wrist, but since we only have the swivel, we have to line up the articulation of the shoulder and the elbow, which sucks. Now that is pretty close. Now you can see his hand isn't quite holding it, but that's about as close as she's gonna get. So yeah, and then we got some wash on the gun itself, and looks like, yeah, it's just kind of randomly and sporadic, and it's all the soft plastic. One fall over and all that work undone, which makes me very angry. And then it comes with this, because you need one of those. Let's sit him behind there. I would have preferred them not have this and put a little bit more TLC into his bottom legs, and then maybe some different options here for the gun. It's disappointing because he's the fan favorite, right? But the figure itself is pretty lackluster. So Gamorrah, and I'm holding her here because I can't get her to stand, which is obnoxious. And she doesn't come with a stand, of course. Why would she? I mean, we spent money on this thing. I'm getting angry, and I apologize. Let's try to be honest about this and unbiased. I'm just starting to downward spiral here with a nice paint on the hair and a nice face sculpt, I think. You know, we got black eyeliner and stuff, and you know, the lips are painted. We got some tattoo work on the face, and You know, the hair is a nice blend from black to red. If you've ever painted figures or models or anything, you know that the blend can be a more difficult thing to do. And then heads on a ball joint. We got sculpt work down here. I'm guessing this is all new, and metallic paint here, and like I guess this blue is supposed to be the highlight, and you know that's a little meh to me. It's like, okay, I guess, but it's not hateful. And then it's just I guess it's supposed to be a ball joint, but it's really just a swivel here for the abdomen. I'm sorry, for the abdomen here, and it really looks unnatural if you try to do anything but maybe go a little off center, like if that's center, and then you go a little bit off center. You can kind of make it happen, but the moment you start going too far and it starts looking like you're defying the laws of physics. We got this floating piece of soft plastic here with some paintwork on it, and it's nice. It works well. Lots of line work in the suit. They really did a great job with the sculpting of the suit. I will give them that. This is, I guess, a ball joint in there, like a T-jointed ball, but because of the sculpting of the legs, this is how far you get. Badoop. And that's really, really bad. We got a thigh swivel, nice and tight too. And nice sculpt work all in here, sculpt work all in here. We used the same highlighting trick here as we did on the chest, which is kind of meh to me. Double jointed knees, getting anything you could possibly want. Nice sculpting down here. And then this is where we run into another problem. Okay, so let me just back her out a little bit. Do you see how the boot, the plastic, the soft plastic here on the boot, makes you put the foot that way? Okay. And there's nothing you can do to change that. You can't have the foot straight ahead because then this doesn't sit right. If you change the thigh swivel, there's still nothing you can do. It's still always, this throws this off. Like, you can't line everything up to make her straight forward. It's got to be at an angle. And there's worse things that have happened. I'm just saying it's kind of obnoxious. Speaking of obnoxious, add that into the fact that she can't stand. She has limited articulation, and then she comes with this sword. That's actually a really nice sculpt. Like, it's interesting to look at, you know, this like pitchfork thing, but she doesn't really hold it that well in either hand, you know. So it's rough, you know. Like, I look at her, there's no way I'm gonna get her to stand. So whatever. Next. Now, Drax I actually think is the best figure of the line, the best executed figure of the line, but he's the least interesting character to me, at least the way the movie portrays him. So, head sculpt, once again, a good likeness, and it's on a ball disc. The joints are tighter, and even the softer bits feel more solid, I guess because it's just a thicker piece. We got ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel. All the tattoo stuff looks great. You know, it gets a little touch and go in some places, but what are you going to do? All in all, it's really nicely done. You know, and there's extra detailing on the eyes, and this figure's executed well. I would have liked a little bit of depth in the green, but you know, you can't win them all. He holds his knives perfectly. Double jointed elbow, getting you to about there. And I'm sorry, I don't even know if you could see that. To about there. And then swivel wrist with a hinge, and that's very nice. The ab crunch, you get 2 down, or I guess it's just 1. Yeah, 1 down, 1 up. Still good. Still more than you need most of the time. Swivel waist, of course, it looks silly if you get extreme with it, but you know, you put it off a little bit and no one's any the wiser. T-jointed ball joints for the hips that work perfectly. Thigh swivel, there's something not right there tolerance-wise, which I'm guessing is the molding here. Nice line work all in the suit. Could have used some inks to put in some depth there, but whatever. Double jointed knee, getting you everything you could want there. We got holsters for the knives that hold perfectly. Ankle rocker and ankle tilt both work well. No calf swivel, which you know I'm happy about because I hate a calf swivel. And yeah, that's, you know, like, you gotta mess with them a little bit to get them to stand, but you can get them to stand. That's a well-made figure. It's just a shame that it's the one I'd be least interested to actually buy. Well done. Lastly, Groot, and I'll have pictures at the end to show you them all together, but I really like him. And there's dry brushing here on the twigs or whatever, and then there's some washes in there, and then there's some green dry brushing, and the head sculpt is nice. And I have one complaint about him, and we'll get there, but overall this is a pretty nice Build-A-Figure. So, head is on a ball joint that is relatively limited. Not hateful, but relatively. Shoulders are on ball hinges, and they work fine. Bicep swivel, getting you everything you need. Double jointed elbows, getting you everything you need. Wrist swivel and hinged. The hinge is impeded a little bit by the plastic molding there. We got an upper diaphragm joint on a ball joint, which I'm guessing is a double ball joint, one up here and one down there, but it works really well. Really well. And even the side to side, you know, the line work is still pretty good. Double T-jointed ball disc hinges, pardon me, that work really well. You know, he gets plenty of articulation there, and there are soft ratchets. The knees. This one works fine. Gets you a little less than 90 degrees, which is okay. This one is going to break if I continue it. I don't know if you can see up in there. There's a ball peg in there that's connecting the hinge, and it's going to snap. It's going to snap if I push it any further, because whatever the molding, the design of it, when I go to bend it, it's not putting strain on the disc to actually make the disc move. It's putting strain at the top of the joint, which is going to snap the plastic. We got ankle rockers, which are actually, you know, pretty well designed, and then you even get a little bit of a tilt with two notches back, but nothing forward. So all in all, he's a pretty nice Build-A-Figure and a pretty cool character, so I'm glad to have him. So all in all, it's a pretty cohesive set. I don't understand why the plastic on the first three I did is so much gummier than the plastic on the last four I did, but it certainly is. It's an interesting set, you know, overall. The aesthetics, they all kind of work together, even with Nova standing out a little bit. There it goes, Nova falling down. It's unbelievable. Anyway, it's not hateful. You know, Groot is kind of the most fun to mess with, and Drax is the best made. The problem is you got to get them all to get Groot. I don't know if it's worth it or not. 20 a pop, 1, 2, 3, 6 figures, 120 bucks. I don't know. It's an expensive Groot. I can't call this one. You guys are gonna have to judge this for yourself. I'm okay with my purchase. I'd say maybe slightly remorseful. Anyway, I'm going to do something a little different today. I don't really have a great skip for this because it's just so bizarre. But if you got 2 kids, you know that you got to even it out, or otherwise you'll never hear the end of it. So we'll let her take us out of here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Is it good?